The night was dark and restless, with thunder rolling through the sky. Emma, an investigative journalist known for her persistence, was alone in her cluttered office. Her eyes wandered over an old photograph of her college friends, a snapshot of happier days. Her gaze stopped at Liam, the one who disappeared after the tragic accident that took Sophia's life. Just then, her phone rang. The voice on the other end was low and shaky. "Caller, if you want the truth about that night, meet me at Ravenwood Lodge at midnight. Come alone." Before Emma could respond, the line went dead. Her instincts kicked in. This was the lead she had been waiting for. With her recorder and flashlight in hand, she left to uncover the truth. Ravenwood Lodge loomed like a shadow in the storm. Once a cozy retreat for friends, it was now an eerie shell of its former self. As Emma entered, the smell of damp wood and decay filled the air. The flashlight beam revealed overturned chairs, faded posters, and echoes of the past. Near the fireplace, she found an envelope. Inside were newspaper clippings about Sophia's death and a cryptic note. The truth was buried, but the storm uncovered it. Dig deeper. Footsteps made her spin around. Standing in the doorway was Liam, drenched and weary. His face was a mix of relief and guilt. "Liam, you came." "Emma, why now, Liam? Why reach out after all these years?" Liam looked down, his voice barely audible. "Liam, because it's time. The truth has been eating me alive." Sitting by the cold fireplace, Liam began his story. He described the tension within their group before Sophia's death, especially the growing possessiveness of Ethan, who had been infatuated with her. "Liam, Ethan couldn't handle Sophia's independence. He thought she belonged to him." Then came the night of the tragedy. "Liam, I saw them on the balcony. Ethan was yelling at her. I stayed back, thinking it was just another argument. But then I heard her scream." "Emma, what happened next?" "Liam, I ran out and saw her. Gone. Ethan was standing there, holding a piece of her necklace. He told me she slipped, but I didn't believe him. I wanted to speak up, but he threatened me. Said he'd make everyone think I pushed her instead." Emma felt a knot in her stomach. Before she could ask more, footsteps echoed in the lodge. They weren't alone. From the shadows emerged Ethan, his face calm but his eyes sharp. "Ethan, I thought I told you to leave this alone." Emma stood her ground. "Emma, we know the truth, Ethan. It's time you stopped running." Ethan's calm facade cracked. "Ethan, you know nothing," he hissed. His eyes shifted to Liam. "You were always the coward. You left me to clean up the mess." Liam stepped forward, his voice trembling with anger. "Liam, you didn't clean up anything. You killed her." Ethan's laugh was cold. "Ethan, killed her? Is that what you think? Fine, let me tell you what really happened." Ethan led them to the balcony, the very spot where Sophia had fallen. The storm raged around them, lightning illuminating their tense faces. "Ethan, she was leaving us," Ethan began, his voice shaking with anger. "Leaving me. I tried to stop her, to make her listen. She pulled away and she fell. It was an accident." Liam shook his head. "Liam, you're lying. You staged the scene and hid the evidence. You had her necklace, Ethan. You couldn't let her go, even in death." Ethan's composure broke. "Ethan, I panicked, all right? I didn't mean for it to happen, but no one would have believed me." His voice grew desperate. "She was the perfect one, the saint, and me? I was the jealous villain. They would have blamed me no matter what." Emma stepped closer, her recorder held steady. "Emma, if it was truly an accident, prove it. Let the world hear your side." Ethan hesitated, his emotions unraveling. Just then, he lunged at Emma, trying to snatch the recorder. Liam intervened, and the two men wrestled dangerously close to the balcony's edge. In a desperate move, Emma grabbed a loose plank and struck Ethan, knocking him unconscious. The storm began to wane as the police arrived. Ethan, now subdued, was taken into custody. Emma handed over her evidence, the recorded confession and the torn necklace Liam had saved all those years. It was enough to finally close the case. As the sun rose, Emma and Liam stood outside the lodge, watching the first rays of light break through the clouds. Liam, it's over. His voice carried a mix of relief and sorrow. Emma nodded. Emma, the truth doesn't erase what happened, but it brings closure. Sophia deserved that. In her next article, Emma wrote, "The truth doesn't erase the pain, but it brings light to the darkness. That night, we lost Sophia, but today, we found the truth she deserved."